6 hours of rehearsal. Next, we would like to play an original by George Shutak. It's entitled Mr. T, not that Mr. T. It's actually his teacher. One of his teachers was a big influence on him and a lot of other jazz musicians, Mr. T. And so I think it's a lovely thing to play a piece by someone who's dedicated work to his former teacher, Mr. T, George Shutak. Okay, now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. This is a composition by Zachary Smith called 13 O'Clock Jump. And I think it's so important to play and teach some classic jazz. So Count Basie-inspired composition. One of the difficulties of this piece, besides the tempo, is the form. It's a 13-bar blues. It feels so unnatural for a musician to play anything other than a 12 or 16-bar blues. So they're doing an admirable job on it. 13 O'Clock Jump. Brandon on tenor. Brandon on tenor. Drew Barron on clarinet. Alex Barron on trombone. Evan Messina on drums. This next tune, Ulterior Motive, you'll get a chance to hear two more solos you haven't heard from yet. Well, we're really enjoying the start of this year. We're having a really good time. This is a band that just wants to get together and stay in the pocket and groove. We're going to play one last tune for you by contemporary jazz composer Jeff Jarvis. We're going to get after it. Get after it by Jeff Jarvis.
scoot it in a little bit more. I might just put it in if they need it.
Good morning. Good morning. If everyone could go ahead and sit down. And Karen, if you could come up, please. So as you can see, I am not Joy McGrath. I am not the head of school. I am Richard Vaughn. I'm a parent just like you of Bo Vaughn, who's class of 27. I'm a 1988 graduate myself. I am also a trustee of the school and chair of the board, and we thought it would be important for you as parents to meet the parents who are on the board, some of whom are actually parent trustees representing the parents. But with me is Maddie Buccini, who is parent of Roberto, who's class of 26. She's also a parent of Claudina, who's class of 21, and Tomas, who's class of 23. Henry McVeigh, who is the parent of Nell, who's class of 25, and Kieran Chapman, who is parent of Hank, who's class of 28, but also Amrit, who's class of 21, and Ford, who's class of 23. And we want you to know who we are, and we want you to feel comfortable reaching out to us if you have questions, concerns, or compliments. We'll take those too. But just feel free to reach out to us. We're here for you. But we also think it's important for you to understand about the Saints Fund, which is the annual fund for St. Andrews, and the importance that it has in terms of contributing to the operations and financial sustainability of St. Andrews. And so Maddie Buccini is gonna talk to you about the Saints Fund.
Good morning. So I wanted to share a little bit of my story of how I ended up on this podium today. I am the parent of Roberto, who's a fifth former, and also of Claudina and Tomas, who graduated a few years back. I'm originally from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and 27 years ago I was finishing my MBA in New York and met my Delawarean husband. We had 3 kids. We moved to the area 15 years ago, and we were placidly running around, raising our children, working, and doing what we all do until December of 2016, when our very persuasive daughter convinced us to let her to apply to boarding school for 9th grade. Chris and I had both gone to boarding school, so the concept was not foreign to us, but we had gone to boarding school in New England, and we had always thought about boarding school for 10th grade. So we live about an hour north. We started getting on the phone because, again, this was in December that she convinced us. And we contacted, our admissions contact at the time was Matt Walensky. We came down for a visit, and we sat in Matt's office, and he asked us, tell me about Claudina. I broke into tears. I was not ready to talk about Claudina because I was not ready to let her go and start this boarding school process. We were awed by this school when we came for that tour, loved everything we saw, and a few months later, when the letters came through, we were delighted to have a revisit back invite from St. Andrews. I dug through my emails and found an email that I actually sent to Matt Walensky on March 10th, 2017. And I'm going to share it with you because I think it explains a little bit of the impact that St. Andrews on a small amount of time had on us all, which is why we're all here today as parents. I wrote, Matt, I couldn't let the day go without reaching out to say thank you. We are so excited. As you well know, applying to schools for fall of 2017 was not on our radar. The transition was abrupt, and as a parent, it felt like the short window that we had with Claudina at home was being slammed shut. As her mother, I do believe that what she needs is the environment that's fostered at St. Andrews, where the focus is on community and on allowing the students to shine in their own light. We look forward to Revisit Day in the spring and trust that her revisit days will guide her towards the best path for her, and fingers crossed that it's down Route 1 and to the left. So here I am, 8 years later. I've been doing that tour, that back and forth on Route 1 a lot. Our middle son also graduated in 23, and as we said, our youngest is here, class of 26. And I wanted to take a minute to think about what is that special sauce that makes St. Andrews so unique. As we all know, it is the faculty, it is the staff, it's everybody here on campus, it's the kindness. It's a secret sauce that somehow elevates our children while also keeping them firmly grounded. And we, in turn, get the best version of our kids, most of the time. And to keep St. Andrews running and to keep us receiving those best versions of our children, it takes a lot of effort from everybody here, from you as parents allowing us to have your kids, from the faculty, the staff, from the students themselves to jump into the community. And we also need the Saints Fund and the endowment and the tuition. Because 65% of us are visual learners, I thought it'd be best if we could put a diagram that we can all relate to on the board so that we understand how the Saints Fund works. The Saints Fund touches on every aspect of school life and on our students' experience. You name it, we're touching it with the Saints Fund. And in essence, every family is receiving a substantial subsidy from the Saints Fund and from endowment. Last year, we were able to raise over $3 million for the fund, and we're hoping that this year we can do it again and more. By making a gift at any level to the Saints Fund, you are helping us, contributing to the continued existence and success of this beautiful place and this unique school, and helping us continue the mission well into the 21st century. I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our Saints Fund co-chairs, our parents, Harrison and Liddy Hall, and Ade and Jen Odutala, who are doing a phenomenal effort in reaching out to all of you for help with the Saints Fund. And I want to encourage you, if you're ready today, to hit the QR codes that you're going to see on campus and start giving a gift today. There's ample opportunity, and we've got months to go, but if you are so compelled, we'll take it today. And we thank you. We thank you for being here. We thank you for sending your children to us. And as Richard said, any complaints,
Or compliments.
any compliments, but any complaints we will happily take. We will take the compliments for sure, and I'm here all day, so find me. I am happy to help and always happy to hear your stories of how you got here. Thank you.
All right, so now we get our head of school. Our native Delawarean who was on borrowed time at Harvard and Yale, but back where she belongs at St. Andrews, Joy McGrath.
Thank you, Richard, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome back to St. Andrews. Welcome to Family Weekend. My husband, Ty Jones, who's here, the entire faculty, all the students join me in welcoming you here this weekend. And I would like to thank those faculty who are just doing an incredible job with your children for their tremendous efforts this weekend. You will see them in conferences. You will see them on stage and backstage. You will see them on the sidelines. You will see them in the dorm. And no, I don't know how they do it, but they are inspiring and they are called to this work. Thank you, too, to our parent trustees who were up here for all you do as volunteers for St. Andrews and our Saints Fund parent co-chairs, the Halls and the Odutolas. We truly couldn't do it without your support. I know you are tremendously excited to see your children, and so I thank you for coming to hear me on a few of your precious minutes on campus this weekend, especially because I occupy this precarious position between our marvelous jazz ensemble and lunch. I really need to talk to whoever's in charge. But it has been a great year so far at the school, just a tremendous year. It's been wonderful seeing our new students settling into the campus. We've reached the point now where we can't remember who's new and who was here before. The students are doing tremendous work in their classes, in academics, in the classrooms. Athletics are just cooking with gas. It's just been incredible to watch our fall sports, our arts performances. I was at the play last night. Was anyone else there? It's just, yeah, amazing. Amazing work. I truly felt that I had been around the world in like 8 days, though, not 80. If you haven't been yet, I recommend that you go tonight. It was just fantastic. The jazz ensemble, the ensembles that we'll be hearing from tomorrow as well. It's just been an incredible year, just seeing your students try so many new things and do so much and take on so much. They are truly fearless, and we admire them so much. I hope this weekend, throughout the course of the weekend, your conferences and spectating and participating, you will discover that your child's St. Andrew's education is turning out to be a transformative experience in their lives. My St. Andrew's education was a defining experience in my life, and I am lucky enough that it continues to be. This is my third reincarnation at the school. I attended here. Obviously, I worked here as a faculty member from 1999 to 2007, and now to be back as head of school. This was a defining experience for me because of my teachers, because of my friends, later as a faculty member, because of my colleagues, and now your children. I hope you're finding your children are making the most of this opportunity for a great education, one that is opening their minds and making their worlds larger. That growth, I hope they recognize, is to fulfill their potential, their promise, to find out who they might be, to discover they have everything they need inside of them, and to have the courage and confidence to be that person. You may recently have read about the passing too soon of a great actor, Gavin Creel, a celebrated Broadway performer. To be honest, before he died, I did not know much about him. But like many people raised in small towns, I am an avid reader of obituaries. And in the New York Times, I found a statement in his obituary that I have been thinking about a lot. I've been turning it over and over in my mind. He attributed his phenomenal success in life and his life in the arts to his upbringing by Midwesterners. He put it this way, speaking to the Toledo Blade before he died, that his parents, quote, instilled in him that you're a part of something, you're not the something. You're a part of something, you're not the something. Essentially, Gavin Creel said, this is the formula for how to be successful, how to be happy, how to make a meaningful life full of friendships and accomplishment. To understand that you are a part of something, you are not the something. I've been thinking about this a lot, that we are a part of something, but we are not the something, because Ty and I and a few of our colleagues have recently, in our travels, been hosting dinners with St. Andrews graduates in colleges. And the main thing we all noticed, and Ty and I have been talking about, is that they seem, and they genuinely say, that they are happy. As one recent graduate from the class of 23 put it to us up in Boston last week, and I thought this was such an insight, it's a learned skill to make something of the circumstances you find yourself in, to be happy. And St. Andrews taught us that. We are part of something, but we are not the something. It's a powerful thing to know so early in life, and a home truth. The qualities you have built in your children, that you have instilled in them, and that we have sought to reinforce here, humility, moderation, curiosity, empathy, the giving of grace, gratitude, they circle this idea and are fundamentally connected to our ability not only to adapt to the circumstances in which we find ourselves, but to thrive in them and to triumph over them. But what is in the middle of this circle? What else is present when we can be part of something, but not the something? Agency, choice, power, what we might call self. What is inside us, and what we have done to cultivate and strengthen it. Some of you have heard me say this so many times, but your children are powerful. They are. And when we hear from our graduates in college that they are happy because they can make something of the circumstances in which they find themselves, circumstances they do not necessarily and do not often control, they are claiming for themselves who they are and the choices they will make. And doing that, yes, with humility, with gratitude, moderation, and empathy. But they are also saying, it begins with me. Before we can make the world better, or even the people around us better, we must know ourselves. We must better ourselves. We must be ourselves. A friend of mine who is passionate about education often reminds me of the story of Rabbi Zusia. Rabbi Zusia was a famous 18th century rabbi, and many said that he was the inheritor of Moses. And what he said to that was, in the coming world, they will not ask me why I was not Moses. They will ask me why I was not Zusia. The ultimate judgment on a life is whether we were ourselves, whether we meticulously, relentlessly, doggedly did what was required to unlock our God-given potential. And so education must serve that purpose. It must first help us learn ourselves, who we are and what we are capable of. It must develop in us the courage and confidence to be that person in whatever the circumstance is, whatever situation arises. And then, and only then, can we imagine what we can do in this broken world. And that is where I think a St. Andrew's education is making a difference. And that is where I think St. Andrew's students, your children, are making a difference. It is so easy. It is so easy to criticize others, to lay blame and find fault. But it is hard. It is incredibly hard to examine ourselves, to hold up a mirror and say, can I be better? Can I do more? And to do that over and over. What your children are doing here together with us is that they are authentically engaging in this kind of education, and it takes an enormous amount of courage. We practice this in our classrooms, and you will hear from teachers about the phenomenal academic work going on this weekend. In chapel, in arts, in athletics, in person, face-to-face, without phones. That makes it harder. That adds a degree of difficulty. They are fearless and unflinching in their dedication to what will make them better, and make us better, and make us who we are. So when we hear what Gavin Creel said of himself, how crucial it was to understand that he was part of something, but not the something, we hear selflessness and generosity and empathy in that. But what is equally true is that the power of the individual and the agency of the person must first be present as well. When our young graduates say St. Andrews gave them the gift of finding happiness, whatever circumstances they find themselves in, that to me is a great endorsement of this cultivation of self in the service of what is larger. I am so proud of our students, your children. You all must just be bursting with pride. They are working so joyfully on themselves, so happily on themselves, and they are doing that in service to something big and something that really matters. And they inspire all of us every day. And so I'm glad you get to be here this weekend for just a glimpse of that. I know you will hear about it from their teachers, but I want you to hear it from me. We are so grateful that you share your kids with us and allow us to be part of their stories. What a privilege it is to work with them. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all the support and encouragement you give us and all the support that you share with the school and what we're trying to do here. It requires an enormous sacrifice from all of you, and you're making that sacrifice every day in the interests of your children, and we truly appreciate it. So have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy your lunch. It's absolutely wonderful to be able to be here with you. I hope you'll find me on the fields and in the hallways and in the dining hall this weekend. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk to me about, I would love to see you and I would love to talk to you. But thank you and have a great day.